welcome to The Point. I'm your host, Duane Carey. The Point is an interview show that features one interesting guest for 10 minutes or less. We start with a quick introduction, we end with the guest giving a shout out, and the 7 or 8 minutes in between, that's where they make their point. Today we have my good buddy, Mark Cissell, the CEO of KatzAbosch here in Maryland, Baltimore. Mark, welcome, buddy.
Thank you. Glad to be here, Duane. Appreciate it.
Good to see you. I like the beard.
Yeah, man. You too. Yeah, I wish it wasn't as gray as it is, but you know, what can you do?
Likewise. So, Mark, I already mentioned everybody. CEO of KatzAbosch. I think everybody in Central Maryland knows KatzAbosch. Great CPA firm. And Mark, I understand your point today is about what you think businesses should be doing in the midst of this pandemic and the crisis that it creates. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. Again, thanks for having me, Duane. I think it's important that realizing this is a crisis, realizing the seriousness of the crisis, that as business people, we have to look for the opportunities that present themselves in times of crisis. That's not to be callous, as I said earlier, or mean-spirited, but there are things that I think we as business people can do, maybe not in all cases, but in general, to get our message out just as well as we could in good times. And I think it's even more important because I think people are looking for something. I think people want to hear something positive. And I think that most importantly, if you go to any business books, or if you go to any business articles related to a crisis like this, one thing that you want to do, in our opinion, and this is what we did, is you want to put the pedal to the metal when it comes to marketing and brand awareness.
Well, I'm not going to argue with you on that one. I think that's the most brilliant point I've ever heard anyone say.
We're done, right? That's it. But I think there are things. Look, people are looking for help, during a crisis. People are looking for any kind of life preserver or anything you can do to help them. And what we decided to do is to ramp up our emails and to develop a COVID-19 resource center and to have phone numbers and emails associated with that, to present webinars and to help not only our clients, but people who aren't our clients, nonprofits and others, to try and help them to come through this financial crisis as best as possible.
That's I have to tell you, that's really refreshing, because so often, and I was joking about the brilliant point, but so often, with marketing, our nemesis is CPAs that look at everything for the pure bottom line, not kind of the goodwill bottom line. It's not how are you getting to that, but it's just exclusively a bean counter approach, and that's always short-sighted. And it doesn't surprise me at all with a firm like yours, because you guys are such good consultants. You're not just a CPA firm that sits around and does tax preparation all day. You're consultants, you're CFOs, you do all that. So that's great to hear. Can you go ahead?
And I was going to say, I mean, the key, I think, for any business, whether you're a CPA firm or you're a doctor or you're a marketing executive like yourself and have your own company, is not to look at it as I'm an accountant or a doctor. I'm a business person.
Right.
And it's not about how much money you spend. It's about how much value you receive for the money you spend.
ROI.
And I think when you do that, I think when you look at things that way, you have a different frame of reference, and you're looking more long-term than just, okay, what can I cut today? Because we all know the old saying, which is true. You can't cut your way to prosperity. That's very important. You can't do it.
Yeah, that's great. So maybe give us some examples. Well, first of all, is there anything else? So you mentioned marketing. Is there other advice that you have for businesses for how to respond right now?
I think that the most important thing is to, I think, as a leader in any organization, as an owner in your organization, your company, I think it's important that you understand what we're going through, the crisis that we're going through, but also need to look more long-term and what's going to happen and how can I help our company get out of this, because we are going to have to, whether we like it or not, we are going to have to continue life. 3 months from now, 4 months from now, 6 months from now. I know that there are people out there that are saying, easy for you to say, if you didn't get PPP money or you're as an example, own a gymnasium. My question would be, are there things as a gymnasium you could do today? Could you have Zoom? Could you have Zoom sessions or things of that nature and make it global so that you could get other people involved? And at least when you come out of this, more people know about you and your gym and say, wow, this was really cool. This person did something to help me to get this off of my mind and to keep me healthy. I really like the way they handle things. I think I'm going to contact so-and-so and see if I can sign up for training with them. I'm not saying it works in every case, but I think there's a give and take there. The give and take is you're giving something that hopefully is helping somebody today, and hopefully you're getting something, on the back end when that person says, I remember what so-and-so did for me, and I want to continue this. I like the way they handle things. So that's what I mean by the opportunity. And frankly, in some cases, it's like, wow, why didn't I'm just using a gym. Why didn't my gym do that? Why didn't my accountant come through with the COVID-19 resource center? Why didn't my accountant contact me just to say, how was I doing? Why didn't my client say, I'll contact the bank and make sure they get in touch with you with respect to the PPP application? So that's what people are looking for. They want to feel like there's somebody out there that they can hold on to that's going to help them through these uncharted waters.
Yeah. Well, I think that's really well said. I received your emails. I have forwarded some of the emails about PPP to some of my clients that I knew would find them useful. So I think it's a perfect example that it's the point you're making. At least put yourself out there, and even if you're not getting paid for it, even if it's not for your own clients, you're just you're helping. I have felt so helpless throughout much of this time.
Sure.
Because like, what else can we do if we're not medical professionals and we're not cops and firemen?
Right.
What else can we do? There's nothing we can do other than impart our which is actually why I started this interview show. Exactly why, to just be able to put some information out.
Think about it, Duane. Even though it was around, how many people were using GoToMeeting or Zoom or Microsoft Teams 3 months ago, 4 months ago versus today?
Yeah.
And again, it's proved to us that we can still communicate. Yes, we need the human touch. Don't get me wrong. Everybody wants to get out there and have lunch with their friend or business associate, no question. But we could still communicate. We could still see each other as we're doing today. We could still be constructive, and we can be efficient in what we're doing. We can share data via screens, whether it's with our coworkers or with a client or anybody else. How many people were doing that 4 months ago? And so my point is there more opportunity for a business? Hey, maybe I can do an accounting firm. Maybe my clients in New Jersey and North Carolina and Virginia, rather than sitting in an airport or in traffic for 2 hours, we can have the call via GoToMeeting. Yeah. We can share data on the screen. Nobody's tired at the end because we had a good, strong, efficient meeting, and everybody's happy. So there are. All I'm saying is there are opportunities. Nobody likes this crisis. I'm not poo-pooing by any means the tragedies that have happened. All I'm saying, there are things we can learn to do better and more efficiently to help people out of a crisis.
Sure, that's well said. Why don't we're at the end of our time. Why don't we wrap it up with a shout out?
Shout out to first, and I'm gonna have two. First and foremost to everybody, the KatzAbosch team. We are working almost 100% remotely and have been now for at least 2.5 months, and everybody's working well, and we're getting along, and we have GoToMeeting updates during the week. And I know it's not easy. It's one thing to be able to work at home and then get out or go to the office. Now it's just working at the office and you can't do anything else. I mean, excuse me, at home, and you can't do anything else. But people are doing well. And then lastly, real quick, is just to my wife, Marcy, and the kids. Marcy's done a great job keeping us straight, making sure that we toe the line at home, and that we're doing the right things and keeping healthy, keeping things clean, doing the right thing, and making sure, thank goodness, nobody's sick.
Well, let me just say it this way. Anybody who knows you knows that keeping you straight and towing the line is that's a bit of a high hurdle there, brother.
Uh, well,
Mark Cissell, CEO.
March is a real true CEO, not me, that's for sure.
Exactly. Mark Cissell, KatzAbosch, thank you for your time, buddy.
Thank you, buddy. Always a pleasure. Stay safe.
You too.